Blood dripped onto the bathroom sink. 3 drops. 4. 5. Esther pressed the paper towel against her nose, but the white turned red anyway. Her reflection stared back at her through the cracked mirror, someone she used to know before America taught her what disappearing meant. 11:47 p.m. Her phone was ringing. Kioma. Again. She couldn't answer. Not with her voice shaking. Not with David Chen's handprint still burning on her arm where he'd grabbed her. Not with the supply closet door still swinging shut in her mind, that metal shelf her nose had cracked against when he shoved her. She picked up her phone. Opened the recording app. Hit record. My name is Esther Okonkwo. Thursday, November 16th. David Chen just assaulted me. 3rd floor supply closet. This is the 17th time he's touched me. I have documentation. 17 times. If I disappear, if something happens to me, my family needs to know I didn't stop fighting. Her hand was shaking so hard the phone almost slipped. She stopped recording. Saved it. Sent it to 3 email addresses. Tomorrow maybe that crack in her fear would be big enough to let the light in. Before I tell you how I got here, do something for me. If you've ever felt invisible in your own life, if you've ever chosen between dignity and survival, subscribe right now. Comment what city you're watching from. Because this isn't just my story. It's happening in your city too right now, to someone who looks fine but is drowning. Tell me where you are. Let me know how far this travels. 4 a.m. The alarm screamed. Esther's hand shot out, killed it before Michael woke up. 30 seconds on her back staring at the ceiling, remembering she was real. The kitchen light flickered twice. The red envelope sat on the counter where it had been sitting for 3 days. She didn't need to open it. She knew every word by heart. Final notice. Rent due Friday. $2,847. Her checking account had $263. We're being evicted. Michael's voice came from behind her. She didn't turn around. I know. Friday is tomorrow. I know what day it is. Do you? His security guard uniform was already on. Ready for his 6 a.m. shift. Because you keep saying you'll handle it. She opened the refrigerator. 3 eggs. Half a carton of milk. Leftover rice from Tuesday. I'll ask Chen for an advance. You asked last month. He said no. I'll ask again. Esther. Michael's voice cracked. We're 3 months behind. Mr. Pacheco called me yesterday. Said if we don't have the money by 5 p.m. Friday, the sheriff shows up Saturday morning. Her hands gripped the refrigerator door. What do you want me to do? Fight back? Report them. Something. Report them to who? With what money? You think we can afford a lawyer when we can't afford bread? Then what's your plan? She didn't have one. She never had one. She only had hope, and hope was expensive. I'll figure it out. She closed the refrigerator. I always do. No. I figure it out. I work 70 hours a week. I drive strangers around until 2 in the morning. I pick up every extra shift they offer. And it's still not enough. He grabbed his keys. You know what the problem is? You're so busy surviving you forgot how to fight. The door slammed. The apartment shook. She stood alone in the kitchen, breathing. Just breathing. Her phone buzzed. Text from the payroll system: your paycheck is ready for direct deposit. She opened the banking app. Waited for it to load. The number appeared. $347. She'd worked 53 hours last week. Time and a half for overtime. Should have been $890 minimum. $347. Her hands started shaking again. They'd been shaking a lot lately. She called the payroll hotline. Got a recording. If you have questions about your paycheck, please contact your direct supervisor during business hours. Her direct supervisor was David Chen. She grabbed her coat. Grabbed her keys. The car was almost on empty, but she couldn't think about that now. Couldn't think about anything except the math that didn't add up. 890 minus 347 equals $543 they'd stolen from her. $543 she needed to not be homeless. The subway was packed at 5:30 a.m. She squeezed in next to a woman who smelled like hospital disinfectant. Rosa appeared at the next stop. You look like death, Rosa said. Feel like it too. Chen, always Chen. Esther showed her the banking app. Look at this. Rosa's face went hard. He shorted you again. $543. Last month he shorted me $400. Month before that 300. Rosa's voice dropped lower. You know why he gets away with it? Because no one stops him. Because we're too scared to stop him. Rosa gripped the subway pole tighter. Lynn tried to complain last week. You know what happened? What hour called her in. Said there must be some mistake with her timesheet. Said maybe she was confused about her hours. Then Chen transferred her to the graveyard shift. Midnight to 8 a.m. Alone. In that building. Esther's stomach dropped. That's not safe. That's the point. He's punishing her. Showing the rest of us what happens when you speak up. The train lurched. Esther grabbed the pole to keep from falling. How long are we going to let him? Rosa asked. Esther didn't answer. They both knew. As long as they needed to eat. The Mendelssohn building rose 53 floors above them. Esther swiped her ID card 3 times before it worked. Descended into the basement. Lynn was already there, changing into her uniform. Her eyes were red. You okay? Esther asked. Lynn shook her head. Didn't speak. What happened? Nothing. I'm fine. Lynn. I said I'm fine. Lynn slammed her locker shut. Just leave it alone. She left. Rosa appeared at Esther's side. She's not fine. Chen cornered her again yesterday. 4th time this month. Did she report it to who? HR protects him. The building owner is his uncle. There's no one to report to. Esther opened her own locker. Started changing. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Esther Okonkwo. Chen's voice cut through the room like a knife. My office. Now. Rosa's face went neutral. Fatima found something interesting on her phone. Nobody wanted Chen's attention on them. His office was barely big enough to breathe in. He sat. Left her standing. Power play number 3000. Your performance is slipping, he said. My paycheck is short $543. His face didn't change. The system shows you worked 40 hours. I worked 53. Do you have proof? My timesheet. The digital timesheet shows 40 hours. Are you calling our payroll system a liar trap? If she said yes, she was accusing the company of fraud. If she said no, she was admitting she was wrong. I know how many hours I worked. And the computer knows what you were paid for. Seems like you need to be more careful about clocking your time correctly. He leaned back. Now. Jennifer Morrison complained again. Said your cleaning yesterday was substandard. I cleaned her office exactly. She found dust. On her bookshelf. The bookshelf I specifically told you to dust thoroughly. The bookshelf with 47 books arranged in a pattern. Morrison screamed at her for disrupting 6 months ago. The bookshelf she couldn't dust without moving the books she wasn't allowed to move. I'll be more thorough. You'll be written up. That's your second write-up. She didn't have a first write-up. But arguing with Chen about reality was like arguing with a wall. Third write-up and you're terminated, he continued. Do you understand? Yes. Good. Now get to work. And Esther, we need to have a conversation later. About your attitude. About whether you really want to work here. His eyes traveled down her body. Meet me in the 3rd floor supply closet. 1 p.m. Don't be late. Her blood went cold. She left his office. Rosa caught up in the hallway. What did he want to remind me I'm nothing? One of these days someone's going to snap. Maybe today. Esther's voice came out harder than she meant it to. Rosa looked at her. Really looked at her. What are you planning? I don't know yet. Be careful. Last woman who fought back got blacklisted. Couldn't find work anywhere in the city. What was her name? Angela Martinez. Worked here 3 years ago. Filed a complaint with the Department of Labor about Chen. 2 days later she was fired for theft. Security footage showed her taking office supplies. Except the footage was fake. Everyone knew it was fake. But it didn't matter. The footage existed. Her career didn't. Esther's hands clenched. Where is she now? I don't know. She disappeared. The word hung in the air between them. Disappeared. Esther took the service elevator to 52. Started cleaning Morrison's office. The woman arrived at 8:45. Expensive coffee and hand designer suit that cost more than Esther made in 3 months. You're still here. Morrison's voice carried that particular tone of surprise, like she expected the cleaning to magically happen without actual humans doing it. I'll finish quickly. I have a client meeting at 9. This is inconvenient. Esther had been here since 6. Morrison arrived at 8:45. But inconvenience only happened to people like Morrison. She finished cleaning. Left the office. In the hallway, another senior partner was arriving. David Goldman, 60-something. Always looked at the cleaning crew like they were furniture. "Excuse me," she said, moving aside to let him pass. He didn't acknowledge her. Didn't even glance in her direction. Just walked past like she was air. Morrison's voice floated from her office. "David, did you see this woman is still cleaning during business hours? We need to talk to facilities about the schedule." "I'll mention it to Chen," Goldman said. Esther stood in the hallway. Invisible. Less than invisible. She was an inconvenience. A problem. Something to be solved by having her come in earlier, leave later, exist even less. Her phone buzzed. Text from Michael. Landlord called again. "Did you get the advance?" She didn't answer. 1 p.m. She went to the third-floor supply closet. Chen was waiting. He closed the door behind her. Didn't lock it. "Not yet. I wanted to discuss your paycheck situation," he said. Her heart was pounding. "Okay. I've been thinking. Maybe there was an error. Maybe the system did make a mistake." He leaned against the shelves. "I could fix it. Get you that missing $500. Maybe even throw in a bonus. Say $1,000 cash. Today. $1,000. That would cover most of the rent. What do you want, smart girl?" Straight to business. He stepped closer. "I need loyalty, Esther. I need to know you're on my team. That you appreciate what I do for you. That you're willing to show me that appreciation." His hand reached out. Touched her arm. The same arm. The same grip. But tighter now. "I don't understand." "Yes, you do." His other hand moved to her waist. "I've been very patient with you. Very generous. But patience has limits. I'm offering you a good deal. All you have to do is be friendly. Be cooperative. Meet me halfway. I need to get back to work." "Not yet." His grip tightened. "We're not finished talking. Mr. Chen." "David. Call me David." "David. I have to go. You have to stay until I say you can go." His face was too close now. She could see every pore. Could smell his cologne. Could feel his breath. $1,000, Esther. Cash. Today. All you have to do is stop being difficult. Stop complaining about your paycheck. Stop questioning me. Start showing me some respect. Some personal respect. His thumb moved in small circles on her waist. Her throat closed. "I have a family. I know. That's why you need the money. That's why you'll make the smart choice." He leaned closer. "Think about it. Your daughter wants to go to college, right? Your husband's car is about to die. Your rent is due. I can help with all of that. I just need you to help me." She pulled away. His hands tightened. Held her in place. "Let go. Not until you give me an answer. I need time to think." "No." His voice went cold. "You decide now. Take the deal. Or walk out that door and see what happens to people who don't cooperate with me." Her phone was in her pocket. If she could just reach it. "Just record this. 24 hours," she said. "Give me 24 hours. His jaw clenched. For a second she thought he was going to refuse. Then he smiled. That horrible smile. 24 hours. "But Esther," he leaned close to her ear. "If the answer is no, you better start looking for a new job. Because this one won't exist for you anymore." He let go. She stumbled back. Hit the shelf. Her nose cracked against the metal edge. Pain exploded. Blood started dripping. "Oh." His voice was calm. Flat. "You should be more careful. These closets are dangerous." He opened the door. Left. She stood there, blood running down her face, and something inside her broke. Not shattered. Not collapsed. Just broke clean through. Like a bone that's been cracked for years finally splitting completely. She pulled out her phone. Started recording. That's how she ended up in the bathroom at 11:47 p.m. watching blood drip into the sink, making a decision that would either save her or destroy her. She left the bathroom. Went home. Michael was asleep on the couch, still in his Uber driver clothes, too exhausted to make it to the bedroom. She didn't wake him. In the kitchen she opened her laptop. Pulled up the document she'd started 3 weeks ago. Evidence against David Chen, workplace violations. She added today's incident. Time. Location. What he said. What he did. The blood. The threat. 23 pages now. She backed it up to Google Drive. Emailed it to herself. To Michael. To an account she'd created specifically for this. Then she opened a new tab. Searched New York Department of Labor. Found the phone number. Copied it. Didn't call yet. Not yet. Found another number. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Another. Legal Aid Society. She copied all of them into a document. Organized them. Made a plan. At 2 in the morning, Kioma appeared in the kitchen doorway. Mama, why are you still awake? Couldn't sleep. What happened to your face? She'd forgotten about her nose. It was swollen now. Bruised. I fell at work. You fell. Yes. Kioma sat down at the table. Looked at the laptop screen. At the legal aid websites. At the phone numbers. At the document titled Evidence. Mama. What's really going on? Nothing, baby. Go back to bed. Stop lying to me. I'm not a child anymore. Kioma's voice was fierce. I know something's wrong. I've known for months. Dad's been stressed. You've been different. Sad. Scared. And now you're looking up lawyers in the middle of the night with a bruised face telling me you fell. Esther's hands started shaking again. She couldn't stop them. I'm handling it. By yourself. Why do you always have to handle everything by yourself? Because that's what mothers do. No. That's what scared people do. Kioma reached across the table. Took her mother's shaking hands. Mama. Whatever this is. Whatever's happening. You don't have to face it alone. Something broke in Esther's chest. Not the same break from earlier. This one was different. Softer. Like something frozen finally thawing. My boss has been stealing from my paychecks. Harassing me. Today he cornered me. Made it clear what he wanted. When I refused, he pushed me. That's how I got hurt. Kioma's face went hard. Are you going to report him? I don't know. Why not? Because reporting him means I'll probably lose my job. And we need my job. We need the money. We're being evicted tomorrow if I don't figure something out. So what, you just let him do this to you? I'm trying to find another way. I'm trying to. There is no other way, Mama. You know that. Kioma squeezed her hands. You're the one who always told me to stand up to bullies. You're the one who said my voice matters. That I matter. So why don't you believe that about yourself? The kitchen clock ticked. 2:15 a.m. In 12 hours rent would be due. In 12 hours her 24 hours to answer Chen would be up. What if I fight back and we lose everything? Esther whispered. What if you don't fight back and you lose yourself? The question hung in the air. Esther looked down at her laptop. At the phone numbers. At 23 pages of documentation. At 12 years of swallowed silence. She opened a new email. Started typing. To whom it may concern, at the New York State Department of Labor. My name is Esther Okonkwo. I am writing to file a formal complaint against my employer David Chen, facilities manager at Mendelsohn and Associates, for systematic wage theft, workplace harassment, sexual harassment and assault. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely type. Kioma's hand covered hers on the keyboard. Keep going, Mama. She kept typing. 20 minutes later the email was done. 23 pages attached. Evidence. Dates. Times. Names. Witnesses. Everything. Her cursor hovered over the send button. One click. That's all it would take. One click and there was no going back. One click and Chen would know she'd declared war. One click and she'd either win or lose everything. Do it, Kioma whispered. Esther closed her eyes. Thought about 12 years of being invisible. 12 years of swallowing her voice. 12 years of accepting that her humanity mattered less than other people's comfort. Thought about Lynn's red eyes. Rosa's warning. Angela Martinez who disappeared. Thought about her daughters growing up in a world where men like Chen got away with it because women like her were too afraid to fight back. She opened her eyes. Clicked send. The email whooshed away. For a long moment neither of them moved. Then Esther's phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. I know what you just did. Big mistake. You're going to regret this. Esther stared at the text message. Her hands had stopped shaking. Something else had replaced the shaking. Something colder. Mama. Kioma's voice seemed to come from far away. What is it? She showed her the screen. I know what you just did. Big mistake. You're going to regret this. Kioma's face went pale. How does he already know? I don't know. It's 3 in the morning. You just sent the email. How could he possibly? Esther's laptop pinged. New email. From the Department of Labor Automated System, your complaint has been received and assigned case number 2847 NYC 2024. Another ping. Another email. This one from an address she didn't recognize. No subject line. She opened it. A single photograph. Taken from across the street from their apartment building. Their window. The kitchen light on. 2 figures visible inside. Her and Kioma. The message below, I see you. Kioma gasped. Esther slammed the laptop shut. Grabbed her phone. Dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? Someone's watching my house. They sent me a threatening photo. They're outside right now. What's your address? She gave it. The operator's voice stayed calm, professional. Officers are on their way. Are you and your family safe inside? Yes. We're in the kitchen. My daughter and I. Is anyone else in the home? My husband. He's asleep. And my younger daughter. Stay on the line with me. Keep away from windows. Esther pulled Kioma into the hallway. Woke Michael. His eyes were confused, heavy with sleep. What's happening? Someone's watching the house. I called the police. He was awake instantly. What? Who? Chen. Or someone working for him. Chen, what did you do? I filed a complaint. Tonight. Against him. For everything. Michael's face went through several expressions. Shock. Fear. Anger. You. What? I had to. Without talking to me, there was no time. He cornered me yesterday. Pushed me. Made it clear what he wanted. I couldn't wait anymore. So you just decided to blow up our lives at 3 in the morning? The 911 operator's voice cut in. Ma'am, are you still there? Yes. I'm here. Officers are 2 minutes away. Michael grabbed his phone. Started pulling on shoes. I'm going outside. No. Stay inside. Someone's watching my family. I'm not staying inside. Michael, please, but he was already heading for the door. Esther followed, still on the phone with 911. They reached the front entrance together. He pushed the door open. The street was empty. No cars with people inside. No figures in shadows. Just streetlights and November cold. There's no one here, Michael said. They were here. They took the photo when 5 minutes ago. They're long gone. A police car turned the corner. Pulled up. 2 officers got out. A woman in her 40s and a young man who looked fresh out of the academy. You called about someone watching your house? The woman asked. Esther showed them the photo. The text message. Explained about the complaint she'd filed. About Chen. About the threat. The female officer's face was sympathetic but not surprised. This is a civil employment matter. Unless someone threatens physical harm, he said. I was going to regret this. That's a threat. It's implied threat. Not explicit. And the photo was taken from a public street. Technically not illegal. So what am I supposed to do? Document everything. Keep records. If the harassment continues, file for a restraining order. And in the morning call the detective division. File a formal report. They left after checking the perimeter. Michael closed the door. Turned to face her. This is what you brought into our house. I brought it. He's the one you filed a complaint without thinking about the consequences. Without thinking about our safety. Our daughter's safety. I was thinking about their safety. I was thinking about what kind of example I'm setting for them. The example that fighting back gets your family stalked in the middle of the night. Kioma appeared on the stairs. Stop it. Both of you. Just stop. They fell silent. Mama did the right thing, Kioma said. And now we deal with whatever comes next. Together. Michael's jaw was tight. I have to be at work in 3 hours. I can't deal with this right now. He went back to the bedroom. Door closed. Not quite a slam, but close. Esther sank onto the couch. Kioma sat beside her. Neither spoke for a long moment. Are you scared? Kioma finally asked. Terrified. Good. That means you're sane. Kioma leaned her head on Esther's shoulder. But you're also the bravest person I know. At 6 a.m. Esther got ready for work. Her nose was swollen. The bruise had darkened overnight. She covered it with makeup as best she could, but it still showed. Her phone buzzed. Text from Rosa: don't come in today. Chen is on a rampage. Lynn just got fired. Esther called her. What happened? She showed up at 5:30. He was waiting. Said they found discrepancies in her timesheet. Said she'd been stealing hours. Had security escort her out. That's retaliation. She can fight that. With what money? She's 24 and undocumented. Esther. She can't fight anything. I'm coming in. Don't. It's a trap. I don't care. She hung up. Got in the car. The gas light was on. She'd forgotten to fill up yesterday. Couldn't afford to fill up now. She'd have to make it to work and back on fumes. The Mendelssohn building looked the same as always. Glass and steel and money. She swiped her ID card. Access denied. She tried again. Same result. The security guard at the desk looked uncomfortable. Ms. Okonkwo, I need you to step away from the entrance. My card isn't working. I know. You've been placed on administrative suspension pending an investigation. What investigation? I'm not authorized to provide details. You need to leave the premises. I need to speak to our HR isn't available. Please leave or I'll have to call additional security. Rosa appeared from the service entrance. Walked past the guard like she belonged there because she did. Grabbed Esther's arm. Pulled her away from the desk. Come on. Not here. They walked half a block to a coffee shop. Rosa bought 2 coffees with money she probably didn't have. They sat in the back corner. They're destroying you, Rosa said. Lynn this morning. Now you. He's picking us off one by one. Did anyone else get the email I sent? What email? I sent my complaint to a group email last night. The one we all use. I thought if everyone saw it, if everyone knew what I was doing, they'd be protected too. Rosa's face went white. Esther, that email doesn't exist anymore. What I checked this morning. It's gone. Deleted. Wiped from the server. Chen has IT access. He erased it. Esther felt the world tilt. But I sent it to the Department of Labor. They have it. That's 1 copy. But whatever evidence you had on that shared drive, it's gone. Did you back it up anywhere else? My personal email. Google Drive. Good. Don't tell anyone else where. Don't trust anyone. Rosa leaned forward. Listen to me. Angela Martinez, the woman I told you about, the one who filed a complaint 3 years ago, the one who disappeared. I found her. Last night. After you left. I couldn't sleep, so I searched her name. Found her on Facebook. Rosa pulled out her phone. Showed Esther a profile. A woman in her 50s, tired eyes. She's alive. Working at a laundromat in Queens. I messaged her. She called me at midnight. What did she say? That Chen didn't just get her fired. He destroyed her. He fabricated evidence of theft. Got her arrested. The charges were eventually dropped, but by then her name was poison. No one would hire her. Her husband left. She lost custody of her kids because she couldn't provide for them. She ended up homeless for 6 months. The coffee turned to acid in Esther's stomach. Why didn't she fight back? She tried. But Chen's uncle owns the building. Has connections with half the commercial real estate in Manhattan. 1 phone call and Angela was blacklisted everywhere. She tried to sue. Couldn't afford a lawyer. Legal aid took her case, but it dragged on for 2 years and went nowhere. Eventually she just gave up. So what am I supposed to do? Give up before he destroys me? I don't know. But I know this: you need to be ready. Because it's going to get worse before it gets better. Esther's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Ms. Okonkwo, this is Detective Sarah Morrison from the NYPD. We received your harassment complaint from the 911 call last night. Can you come down to the precinct to file a formal report? Different Morrison. A good Morrison. Maybe. Yes. When? As soon as possible. We're at the 42 ND precinct. Ask for me at the desk. She hung up. Looked at Rosa. I have to go. Be careful. I'm past careful. The precinct smelled like coffee and stress. Detective Morrison was the same woman from last night. She led Esther to a small room with a desk and 2 chairs. Tell me everything. Esther did. 12 years compressed into 30 minutes. The wage theft. The harassment. The threats. The photo. Chen's history. Lynn getting fired. Her own suspension. Morrison took notes. Asked good questions. Seemed to actually care. This is primarily a labor issue, she said when Esther finished. The Department of Labor will handle the workplace violations. But the stalking, the threats, those are criminal. I can file a report. But without more concrete evidence, what counts as concrete evidence? Another threat. Another photo. Witnesses to harassment. Recorded conversations. Security footage. The building erases security footage that would help me. Then you need to create your own. Start recording everything. Every conversation. Every interaction. Your phone has a recording app, yes. Use it. But be aware New York is a one-party consent state. You can record conversations you're part of without telling the other person. But if you're recording conversations you're not part of, that's illegal. What about the complaint I filed with the Department of Labor? How long until they investigate? Could be weeks. Could be months. They're understaffed. I don't have months. I'm being evicted tonight if I don't have rent money. Morrison's face was sympathetic. I'm sorry. I truly am. But this system moves slowly. The best advice I can give you is to document everything and stay safe. Esther left the precinct. Checked her phone. 3 missed calls from Michael. 2 voicemails. The first, the landlord showed up at the apartment. Looking for you. Said if we don't have the money by 5 p.m. today, the sheriff serves eviction papers tomorrow. The second, Kioma's school called. She got into a fight. They want us to come get her. Where are you? She called him back. I'm heading to the school now. What about rent? I don't know, Michael. I don't have the money. Then we're homeless. The line went dead. She drove to Kioma's school. The gas light had been on for 20 miles now. She was running on fumes and prayers. The principal's office was small and cold. Kioma sat in a chair, hair messy, lip bleeding. A white girl sat across from her crying. Both their mothers were there. Your daughter attacked mine, the white mother said immediately. That's not what happened, Kioma shot back. The principal held up a hand. Let's all calm down. Kioma, tell us what happened. She called me a scholarship student. Said my mom probably cleans toilets and that's why I dress like trash. The white girl's mother's face went red. That's not Madison, would never, she did. In front of everyone. So I punched her. Esther's heart sank. Kioma, I'm not sorry. She was being racist and cruel and someone needed to shut her up. The principal sighed. Kioma, violence is never the answer. We have a zero-tolerance policy. I'm suspending you for 3 days. She gets suspended, the white mother shrieked. She assaulted my daughter. Madison will also be suspended for her comments. 3 days for both girls. This is unacceptable. I'm calling my lawyer. That's your right. But my decision stands. The principal looked at Esther. Ms. Okonkwo, you can take Kioma home now. They walked to the car in silence. Got in. Sat there. I'm sorry, Kioma finally said. Don't be. I'm proud of you. Kioma's head whipped around. What, that girl was cruel. You stood up for yourself. That's not something to apologize for. But I got suspended. 3 days. We'll survive. Esther started the car. The engine coughed. We've survived worse. They made it home on the last drops of gas. Michael's car was gone. Inside, Ada was on the couch, eyes red from crying. What's wrong, baby? The landlord was here. He was yelling. He said we have to leave. He said we're bad people who don't pay their bills. Esther gathered her into her arms. We're not bad people. We're just having a hard time right now. Are we going to be homeless? Number. I promise. I'll figure something out. But she had no idea what. Her bank account had $263. The rent was $2,847. Chen had suspended her so she couldn't work. Even if she could work, he'd already proven he wouldn't pay her. Her phone rang. Number she didn't recognize. She almost didn't answer, but something made her. Ms. Okonkwo, this is Jennifer Reyes from the Legal Aid Society. I received your case file from the Department of Labor. I'd like to discuss representation. Hope flared in her chest. Yes. Please. Can you come to our office Monday morning? Not sooner. I'm out of the office until then. But Monday 9 a.m. We're at 120 Broadway. I'll be there. She hung up. Looked at her daughters. I have a lawyer. Does that help with rent? Kioma asked. No. But it helps with everything else. At 4:30 Michael came home. His face was gray. I tried to borrow money from everyone I know. No one has it. I went to 3 payday loan places. They all rejected me because my credit score is too low. What's our credit score? 483. They sat at the kitchen table. All 4 of them. The red envelope in the center like a bomb waiting to go off. I have an idea, Kioma said. It's probably stupid, but no ideas are stupid right now, Esther said. We could start a GoFundMe. Explain the situation. Ask for help. That's not stupid, Michael said slowly. That's actually smart. I'll set it up right now. Kioma pulled out her phone. Started typing. What should the title be? Family facing eviction needs help, Ada suggested. They worked on it together. Wrote the description. Explained about Esther's job situation without naming Chen. About the medical bills from when Ada broke her arm last year. About the cost of living in New York City on 2 low-wage jobs. About just needing a chance to catch up. Kioma hit publish. Set the goal at $3,000. They waited. Refreshed the page. Waited more. At 4:45 the first donation came in. $20 from someone named Patricia L. Message stay strong. Then another. $50 from Marcus T. Single dad I understand. Then another. And another. By 5 o'clock they had $400. By 5:30 $800. By 6 $1,200. It's working, Ada whispered. People are helping us. By 7 they had $1,800. Michael was crying. Actually crying. I can't believe this. I can't believe people we don't even know. By 8 $2,300. By 9 $2,700. At 9:37 they hit $3,000. Esther stared at the phone. At the list of names. Strangers. People who didn't owe them anything. People who just decided to help because they could. We can pay rent, she said. Her voice was shaking. We can actually pay rent. Michael grabbed her. Hugged her so tight she couldn't breathe. The girls piled on. All of them holding each other in the kitchen that was too small, in the apartment that was too expensive, in the life that was too hard. But tonight, right now, they were okay. At 10 Esther transferred the money to her bank account. At 10:30 she wrote the check to Mr. Pacheco. At 11 she knocked on his door. He answered in his robe. Looked at the check. Then at her face with its bruise and swelling. What happened to you? I fell. You fell. Yes. He didn't believe her. But he took the check. This covers this month and 1 month of back rent. You still owe 2 more months. I'll have it by the end of next week. You said that last month. I mean it this time. I have a lawyer now. I'm fighting back against my employer. Things are going to change. He studied her face. For your sake I hope you're right. But if you don't have the rest by next Friday, I'm filing eviction papers. I can't keep doing this. I understand. She went back upstairs. Michael was on the couch scrolling through the GoFundMe comments. Listen to this, he said. I was underpaid and exploited at my job for years. Seeing someone fight back gives me courage. Here's $50 to help. And this one, me mom was an immigrant. She cleaned offices her whole life. Never got justice. This is for her. Esther sat beside him. Read through the messages. Story after story of people who understood. Who'd been there. Who were there now. I thought we were alone, she whispered. We're not. Her phone buzzed. Text from Rosa. Did you see the news? What news? Rosa sent a link. Article from a labor rights website. Wave of complaints filed against Manhattan building management companies for wage theft and harassment. Esther clicked through. Read. Her breath caught. Her complaint wasn't alone. 6 other women had filed complaints against Chen in the past 24 hours. All cleaning workers. All at different buildings owned by Chen's uncle's company. All with similar stories. He's been doing this everywhere, she said. Not just our building. Everywhere. Michael read over her shoulder. This is bigger than we thought. This is bigger than Chen. This is the whole system. Another text from Rosa, the reporter who wrote that article, wants to talk to you. Her name is Lisa Chen. No relation. She's legit. I checked. The email came through 2 minutes later. Ms. Okonkwo, I'm a reporter investigating labor violations in the building services industry. I'd like to interview you about your experience. Can we talk tomorrow? Esther looked at Michael. What do you think? I think you're already at war. Might as well bring in reinforcements. She typed back yes. Tomorrow at noon. Meet me at the coffee shop on 6th and 47th. Sent it before she could change her mind. At midnight, as they were getting ready for bed, Esther's email pinged. Message from the Department of Labor. Dear Ms. Okonkwo, your complaint has been assigned to investigator James Patterson. He will contact you within 48 hours to schedule an intake interview. Please have all documentation ready. In the meantime, be aware that retaliation is illegal. If you experience any adverse employment action, report it immediately. Retaliation is illegal. She almost laughed. Chen had already suspended her probably destroyed evidence and stalked her family. Retaliation wasn't a risk. It was already happening. But at least now she wasn't facing it alone. Michael turned off the light. They lay in the dark. Are you scared? He asked. Yes. Me too. But I'm more scared of staying silent. I know. I'm sorry I got angry earlier. You were right to file the complaint. She found his hand in the dark. Held it. We're going to get through this. Promise, promise. She didn't know if she could keep that promise. But she was going to try. In the living room her laptop pinged. She got up. Checked the email. From Angela Martinez. Subject: I heard what you did. Esther Rosa gave me your email. I heard you filed a complaint against Chen. I need to tell you something. He has a pattern. First he suspends you. Then he fabricates evidence of theft. Then he has you arrested. It happened to me. It's happened to at least 3 other women I know of. You need to be ready. Don't keep anything valuable at work. Don't have any company property at home. Don't give him anything he can twist into evidence against you. And most importantly, trust no one who still works there. He has people who report back to him. Be careful. Esther's blood ran cold. She forwarded the email to Detective Morrison. To her lawyer. To herself 3 times just to make sure she had copies. Then she went through every drawer in the apartment, looking for anything that belonged to the Mendelssohn building. A pen. A notepad. Anything. Found a cleaning rag she'd accidentally brought home last week. A box of rubber gloves she'd taken because her hands were getting chemical burns. She put them in a bag. Made a note to return them Monday. She wouldn't give Chen any ammunition. At 2 a.m. she finally slept. At 6 a.m. her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Heavy breathing. No words. Just breathing. Hello. The breathing continued. Then a voice. Male. Distorted. Like someone speaking through a filter. You made a big mistake. You're going to lose everything. Your job. Your apartment. Your family. Everyone you dragged into this is going to suffer. And it's all your fault. The line went dead. Esther's hands were shaking again. She hit record on her phone's app, played back the voicemail the threatening call had left. The distorted voice filled the bedroom. Michael sat up, instantly awake. What the hell was that? A warning? Or a promise? She forwarded the recording to Detective Morrison. To her lawyer. To every email address she had. They're escalating. We should leave. Get out of the city. Go somewhere safe. Where we have $200 left after paying rent. We can't run. We can't stay here and wait for them to. Ada's scream cut through the apartment. They both ran. Found her in the living room staring at her phone, tears streaming down her face. What happened? Esther grabbed her shoulders. Ada couldn't speak. Just held out the phone. A text message from an unknown number. A photo attached. Ada walking home from school yesterday. Alone. Taken from across the street. The message below: pretty little girl. Be a shame if something happened to her. Michael grabbed the phone. His face went white. Then red. Then something beyond rage. That's it. I'm going to kill him. Michael, no, he threatened our child. Our 11-year-old daughter. I'm going to break every bone in his body. That's what he wants. He wants you to do something stupid so he can have you arrested. I don't care. I care. Ada needs her father. Esther pulled him close. Felt him shaking. We report this. We add it to the evidence. We let the system handle it. The system isn't handling anything. It's been 3 days and nothing's happened except we're getting terrorized. He wasn't wrong. Esther called Detective Morrison. Got voicemail. Left a message. Called again. Still voicemail. Sent the photo via email with the subject line: urgent, child threatened. No response. At 8 a.m. Kioma came into the kitchen. Someone spray painted our car. They went down to the parking lot. The Honda had snitch sprayed across the driver's side in red paint. Esther's hands clenched into fists. Call the police, Michael said. They won't do anything. It's vandalism. They'll file a report and nothing will happen. So we just accept this number. We document it. Add it to everything else. Build the case brick by brick until it's so big they can't ignore it. She took photos from every angle. Sent them to Detective Morrison. To the lawyer. To the Department of Labor investigator who was supposed to call her but hadn't yet. At 11:30 she drove the spray-painted car to meet Lisa Chen, the reporter. The coffee shop was crowded. Lisa was already there, mid-30s, sharp eyes, recorder on the table. "Thank you for meeting me," Lisa said. "I've been investigating Chen's company for 6 months. You're the first person willing to go on record. Angela Martinez won't talk to reporters anymore. Chen destroyed her and she's terrified it'll happen again if she speaks up." Lisa pulled out a folder. "But I have 11 other women who'll talk off the record. Same pattern. Wage theft. Harassment. Threats. One by one he breaks them down until they quit or get fired. Why hasn't anyone stopped him?" His uncle is Victor Mendelsohn. Owns 43 commercial buildings in Manhattan. Contributes heavily to both political parties. Has the mayor on speed dial. People who go after him find themselves audited by the IRS, investigated by immigration, evicted from their homes. He has power and he uses it to protect his own. Esther's stomach dropped. Immigration. Victor sits on the board of a private immigration detention company. Has connections with ICE. If someone becomes a problem, he makes a call. Suddenly they're being questioned about their status. Even people with green cards find themselves in holding cells while their paperwork is reviewed. "I have a green card." "How long have you had it?" 3 years. That doesn't matter to men like Victor. He'll find a way to make it matter. Lisa leaned forward. "I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to prepare you. This isn't just about Chen. It's about the whole system he's part of. And that system protects itself." The coffee shop door opened. Chen walked in. Made direct eye contact with Esther. Smiled. "He followed you," Lisa whispered. Chen ordered a coffee. Sat 3 tables away. Close enough to hear if they raised their voices. Close enough to intimidate. "We should leave," Esther said. "No. We stay. We don't let him control us." Lisa raised her voice slightly. "So Ms. Okonkwo, tell me about the assault. The one where he gave you that bruise on your face." Chen's smile faded. Esther's heart was pounding, but she matched Lisa's energy. "He cornered me in a supply closet. Made sexual demands. When I refused, he pushed me into a metal shelf. Broke my nose. Then he threatened to fire me if I reported it." "And did he fire you?" "Suspended me. But it's the same thing. No pay. No work. No way to support my family." "How long have you worked for his company?" 6 years at this building. 12 years total in the industry. Lisa was taking notes. Chen was staring at them, jaw tight. His coffee sat untouched. "And the wage theft. How much would you estimate he's stolen from you over 6 years?" Esther pulled out her phone. Showed Lisa the spreadsheet she'd created. Approximately $47,000 in unpaid overtime and shorted paychecks. Lisa's eyes widened. 47,000. That's not petty theft. That's grand larceny. Chen stood up. Walked over to their table. Leaned down. "You should be careful what you say to reporters, Esther. Defamation is a serious crime. I have lawyers who specialize in making people regret lying about me. I'm not lying. Prove it. I have documentation. Timesheets. Bank statements. Witnesses. Witnesses who still work for me, who need their jobs, who'll say whatever I tell them to say." He straightened up. "You're making a big mistake. This reporter doesn't care about you. She's using you for a story. And when it all falls apart, when you've lost everything, she'll move on to the next victim. But you'll still be destroyed." He walked out. Lisa was typing furiously on her laptop. That was perfect. He just threatened you in front of a witness. That's intimidation. That's obstruction. That's also terrifying. Good journalism usually is. Lisa closed her laptop. "I need a few days to verify some facts and reach out to other sources. But I want to run this story." Front page of the Metro section. Sunday edition. "That's our biggest readership day. When this Sunday? 3 days from now. That fast. Stories like this have a shelf life. If we wait too long, Chen's lawyers will find a way to bury it. We go fast and we go hard." Lisa stood. "I'll be in touch. And Esther, be ready. Once this story hits, everything changes." Esther drove home. The spray-painted car attracted stares at every red light. When she pulled into the parking lot, Michael was there, phone to his ear, pacing. "I don't care what your policy is. Someone threatened my daughter. Sent her a photo. That's stalking." He saw Esther. His face crumpled. "Fine. I'll come down and file another report. But when something happens to my family, I want you to remember this call." He hung up. "Police won't do anything. Said they need more evidence. More concrete threats." I asked what counts as concrete, and the officer said actual physical harm. "So they'll help us after we're already hurt." Apparently. Michael kicked a tire. "I can't do this anymore, Esther. I can't sit around waiting for them to hurt our children while the police tell us to collect more evidence." "What do you want to do?" "I want to take the girls and leave. Go stay with my brother in New Jersey until this blows over." "It won't blow over. Chen isn't going to stop just because we left the city." "Maybe not. But at least they'd be safe." Esther's phone rang. Jennifer Reyes from Legal Aid. "Ms. Okonkwo, we need to meet today instead of Monday. Can you come to our office in an hour?" "Yes." "Is something wrong?" "I'll explain when you get here." The Legal Aid office was on the 15th floor of an old building downtown. Jennifer Reyes was young, maybe 30, with kind eyes and a tired face that said she'd seen too many cases like Esther's. "I received some disturbing information this morning," Jennifer said. "The company you work for filed a police report against you. They're claiming you stole company property and they have security footage to prove it." Esther's world tilted. "That's not possible. I didn't steal anything." "I believe you. But they're building a case. This is a pattern I've seen before with employers fighting back against whistleblowers. They fabricate evidence to discredit you before your complaint can be fully investigated." "What kind of evidence?" "According to the report, you took cleaning supplies, office equipment, and petty cash. They're estimating the value at $1,500. That's insane. I took a cleaning rag by accident once and returned it. That's all." "Do you have proof you returned it?" Esther's heart sank. "No. I just put it back in the supply closet." "Then it's your word against theirs. And they have security footage. Or claim to. The footage is fake." "It has to be. Chen has access to the security system. He can edit it. Proving footage is fake is expensive and time-consuming. We'd need a forensic video analyst. The legal aid budget doesn't cover that." "So what do I do?" Jennifer's face was grim. "You need to be prepared for the possibility that you'll be arrested. They've already filed the report. If they push it, the DA might issue a warrant. I have children. A family. I can't go to jail for something I didn't do." "I understand. That's why we need to be proactive. I'm going to contact the DA's office directly. Explain that this is retaliation. Show them your documentation of the harassment and wage theft. Hopefully they'll see this for what it is and decline to prosecute. And if they don't, then we fight it in court. But I need you to be realistic about something. This could drag on for months. Maybe years. During that time you'll have a criminal charge hanging over your head. That makes it very hard to find work. To rent an apartment. To live a normal life." Esther felt like she was drowning. "So he wins either way." "Not if we can prove your case first. The Department of Labor investigation, if it moves quickly, could establish a pattern of retaliation that makes the theft charges look like what they are: fabricated revenge." "How long until the investigation is complete?" "Normally 4 to 6 months. I can't wait that long." "I know. I'll try to expedite it. But I can't make promises." Jennifer handed her a business card. "If the police contact you, don't talk to them without me present. Don't let them search your home without a warrant. Don't consent to anything. Call me immediately." Esther left the office feeling like the walls were closing in. She sat in her car for 10 minutes trying to breathe. Trying to think. Trying not to panic. Her phone buzzed. Text from Rosa: "They fired me. Said I was helping you steal. Said I knew about it and didn't report it. I have 3 kids. I needed that job. I'm sorry, but I can't be a witness for you anymore." Another text. From Fatima: "Chen called me into his office. Asked me questions about you. About what I knew. About whether I'd seen you take anything. I told him no, but he didn't believe me. I think I'm next." Another. From a number she didn't recognize. "This is Lynn. New phone. Chen got my old number somehow. He's been calling and texting. Threatening to report me to immigration. I'm scared. I'm so sorry. I can't help you." One by one her witnesses were disappearing. Chen was dismantling her case piece by piece. She drove home. Found Michael in the bedroom packing a suitcase. "What are you doing taking the girls to New Jersey?" "Tonight. I called my brother. He said we can stay as long as we need. We the girls and me. You should come too, but I know you won't. Michael, you can't just leave. Watch me. Our daughter got threatened. Our car got vandalized. You're about to be arrested for theft. I'm getting them out before something worse happens. Running away won't solve this. Maybe not. But it'll keep them safe. And right now that's all I care about. He zipped the suitcase. Come with us. Please. We'll regroup. Figure out a plan that doesn't involve our kids being targeted by criminals. He's not a criminal. He's a manager with too much power and no oversight. He's both. And you're in over your head. Michael's voice softened. I love that you're fighting back. I do. But not at the cost of our children's safety. If I leave now, Chen wins. Everything we've done, all the risk, it's all for nothing. Then it's for nothing. I'd rather have nothing and have my family safe than have justice and have them hurt. Kioma appeared in the doorway. I don't want to go to New Jersey. It's not up for discussion, Michael said. Yes, it is. I'm 15. I get a say. She looked at Esther. Mama's fighting for something important. We should fight with her, not run away. This isn't your fight. It is now. That girl at school called me trash because of what Mama does for a living. Chen's threatening us because Mama stood up for herself. This is absolutely our fight. Ada appeared behind her sister. I'm scared. But I'm more scared of growing up in a world where bad people win because good people are too afraid to fight. Michael's face crumpled. You're both too young to understand what you're saying. I'm not too young, Kioma shot back. I'm the same age Mama was when she had me. If she was old enough to be a mother at 15, I'm old enough to understand what's at stake here. The words hung in the air. Esther had been 15 when she got pregnant with Kioma. 15 and terrified and determined to make it work. She'd grown up fast, gotten tough, survived. Now her daughter was doing the same. Michael set down the suitcase, sat on the bed, put his head in his hands. I can't lose you. Any of you. I can't. Esther sat beside him. You won't. We're going to stick together. All of us. And we're going to get through this. How, I don't know yet. But we will. Her phone rang. Number from the 212 area code. She answered. Ms. Okonkwo, this is James Patterson from the Department of Labor. I'm the investigator assigned to your case. I have some questions that can't wait until our scheduled interview. Can we talk now? Yes. Please. I've been reviewing your complaint and the supporting documentation. I have to tell you, in 20 years of doing this job, I've rarely seen a case with this much evidence. You've documented everything meticulously. That's going to help tremendously. Relief flooded through her. So you believe me? I do. But believing you and proving it in a way that holds up legally are two different things. I need to ask you some hard questions. Is there anyone on the line with you? My husband and daughters are here. I need to speak with you privately. Esther went into the bathroom. Closed the door. Okay. I'm alone. Ms. Okonkwo, your employer has filed a criminal complaint against you for theft. Are you aware of this? My lawyer told me this afternoon. This complicates things. If you're charged with a crime related to your workplace, it can undermine your credibility as a complainant. Juries tend to dismiss whistleblowers who have criminal records. The charges are fake. Retaliation. I believe that. But proving it is difficult. I need you to think very carefully about the next question I'm going to ask you. Have you ever even once taken anything from your workplace that didn't belong to you? A pen, paper, food from the break room, anything at all? Esther thought. I took a banana once from the kitchen on the executive floor. It was going to be thrown away. Does that count? Technically, yes. But that's not what they're claiming. They're saying you stole $1,500 worth of supplies and equipment. I didn't. I swear I didn't. I believe you. But here's what's going to happen. They're going to show security footage of you in supply closets, in storage rooms, in areas where equipment is kept. They're going to create a narrative that you had opportunity and motive. And the criminal charges give them a way to discredit everything you're saying about Chen. So I'm trapped. Not trapped, but in a very difficult position. My advice: fight the criminal charges aggressively. Get those dismissed or thrown out before we go to trial with the labor complaint. Because if you have a criminal record when we get to court, even if it's just an arrest and not a conviction, it'll hurt your case. How long will that take? The criminal case could be 6 months to a year. I don't have a year. My family is falling apart. We're barely surviving. I know. I'm sorry. The system isn't designed to protect people like you. It's designed to protect people like Chen. Then what's the point of fighting, because sometimes the system works despite itself. Sometimes justice happens. Not often enough. But sometimes. Patterson's voice was tired. I'm going to do everything I can to expedite this investigation. But I need you to hold on. Can you do that? I don't have a choice. She hung up. Came out of the bathroom. Michael looked at her face and knew. It's bad, he said. It's bad. That night the GoFundMe got shut down. Someone had reported it as fraudulent. All the money they'd raised, $3,000, was frozen pending review. This has Chen written all over it, Michael said. He's attacking us from every angle. Esther checked her email. Message from the GoFundMe team: we've received multiple reports that your fundraiser contains false information and is being used to profit from a fabricated situation. Your account has been suspended pending investigation. If we determine fraud has occurred, all funds will be returned to donors and your account will be permanently banned. She wanted to scream, wanted to break something, wanted to give up. Instead, she opened her laptop. Started writing an email to every news outlet in New York. To every labor rights organization. To every immigrant advocacy group. Subject: building manager systematically harassing and exploiting immigrant women workers. She told the whole story. Every detail. Named Chen. Named Victor Mendelsohn. Named the buildings. Attached her documentation. Hit send to 47 different email addresses. If they were going to destroy her, she was going to make sure everyone knew why. At midnight her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. This is Angela Martinez. Rosa gave me your number. I know you're going through hell right now. I went through the same thing. There's something you need to know about Chen. Something I should have told you before, but I was too scared. Can we meet tomorrow? It's important. Esther stared at the message. Wondered what else could possibly matter at this point. What other nightmare could be waiting? But she typed back yes. Where and when? Queens. The laundromat on Northern Boulevard. 2 p.m. Come alone. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Chen has people watching you. How do you know that? Because he had people watching me too. And one of them ended up saving my life. Esther told Michael she was going to the store. She hated lying to him, but Angela's message was clear. Come alone. Don't tell anyone. She drove to Queens with one eye on the rearview mirror, checking for cars that stayed behind her too long. The laundromat was wedged between a bodega and a check cashing place. Angela was folding towels at a back table, moving like someone who'd learned to make herself small. She looked up when Esther walked in. Their eyes met. Thank you for coming. Angela's voice was quiet. I wasn't sure you would. You said someone saved your life. I need to know what that means. Angela glanced at the door. At the windows. Not here. There's a storage room in back. The owner lets me use it. They went through a narrow hallway. The storage room smelled like detergent and damp concrete. Angela locked the door behind them. When Chen came after me 3 years ago, he didn't just destroy my career. He tried to destroy my life. Had me arrested. Got my husband to divorce me. But the worst part, he had someone following me. Everywhere. For months. Taking photos. Documenting my movements. I thought I was losing my mind. Why insurance? If I tried to fight back, if I went to the media or filed lawsuits, he had leverage. Photos of me going to bars. Meeting with men. Nothing illegal, but everything made to look suspicious. He was building a character assassination file. Esther's stomach dropped. He's doing the same thing to me. I know. That's why I'm telling you this. The person he hired to follow me, she couldn't do it anymore. The job made her sick. So she came to me. Told me everything. Gave me copies of all the photos, all the reports Chen had ordered. And she told me something else. Angela pulled out her phone. Chen isn't just exploiting workers. He's running an organized operation. Multiple buildings. Multiple cities. It's not about saving money. It's about control. About power. What do you mean multiple cities? New York, Boston, Philadelphia, D.C. His uncle's company owns buildings in all of them. Chen's model gets replicated everywhere. Hire immigrant women. Pay them under the table or manipulate their timesheets. Harass them into silence. Anyone who complains gets the full treatment: fabricated charges, character assassination, deportation threats. That's not just one bad manager. That's organized crime. Exactly. And the woman who was following me, she used to work for a private investigation firm that specializes in this kind of corporate intimidation. She quit because she couldn't stomach it anymore. But she kept records. Everything. Where is she now? Queens. She lives 10 blocks from here. She agreed to meet with you. Esther's phone buzzed. Text from Michael: where are you? You've been gone 2 hours. She typed back quickly: store was crowded. Coming home soon. Angela was watching her. You can't tell anyone about this meeting. Not your husband. Not your lawyer. Not anyone. If Chen finds out I'm talking to you, I understand. Do you? Because he had me arrested twice. The second time I spent 3 days in jail before my public defender got the charges dropped. 3 days that cost me everything. Angela's hands were shaking. I'm only helping you because that investigator convinced me it was time to stop being scared. But I'm still terrified. So am I. Good. Fear keeps you careful. Angela handed her a piece of paper with an address. This is where you'll meet her. Today at 4 p.m. Don't be late. She's risking everything to talk to you. They left the storage room separately. Esther walked to her car, checking every shadow, every parked vehicle. A black SUV with tinted windows sat 3 spaces down. Engine running. She couldn't see inside. She got in her car. Started driving. The SUV pulled out behind her. Followed at a distance. 2 cars back. Never closer. Never farther. Her heart was racing. She called Detective Morrison. Finally someone answered. Detective, this is Esther Okonkwo. Someone's following me. Black SUV. I can't see the license plate. They've been behind me for 15 minutes. Where are you now? Queens Boulevard. Heading toward the 59th Street Bridge. Do you feel immediately threatened? I feel like I'm being stalked. Can you get to a police station? Which one? There's a precinct on Queens Boulevard. I'll call ahead. Drive there now. Don't stop for anything. Esther made a U-turn. The SUV did the same. Her hands were slick on the steering wheel. She dialed Michael. I'm being followed. I'm going to the police station on Queens Boulevard. What? Where are you? You said you were at the store. I lied. I'm sorry. I'll explain later. Just know that if something happens to me, there's an address in my phone. Under the name Maria Santos. That's important. Esther, what the hell is going on? Everything. All at once. She saw the police station ahead. I have to go. She pulled into the parking lot. The SUV drove past slowly. Didn't stop. She sat in her car for 5 minutes breathing. The SUV didn't come back. Inside the station, Detective Morrison was waiting. I called in a favor. Got here as fast as I could. She looked at Esther's face. You okay? Number. But I'm still here. Esther showed her the address Angela had given her. I need to meet someone. Today. It's about Chen. About evidence. What kind of evidence? The kind that proves this isn't just about me. That it's bigger than wage theft and harassment. Morrison's face was serious. If you're saying what I think you're saying, we need to involve federal authorities. This sounds like RICO territory. What's that? Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It's for taking down organized criminal enterprises. If Chen and his uncle are running a systematic operation across state lines, that's federal. How long would that take? Months. Maybe years. I don't have years. I know. But I can't investigate a federal case. I'm local police. Morrison pulled out her card. Wrote a number on the back. This is an FBI agent I know. Marcus Webb. He specializes in labor trafficking and corporate corruption. Call him. Tell him everything. At 4 p.m. Esther stood outside a small house in Astoria. The woman who answered the door was 50-something, gray hair, tired eyes that had seen too much. You're Esther. You're the investigator. Maria Santos. Come in. We don't have much time. The living room was cluttered with file boxes. Maria gestured to them. 3 years of work. Photos. Reports. Audio recordings. Everything Chen's done. Everything his uncle's company has done. I kept copies of everything even though I wasn't supposed to. Why? Because I have a daughter. 16 years old. One day she'll be a woman working in this world, and I want her to live in a world where men like Chen don't get away with it. Maria opened a laptop. Started pulling up files. Photos of women going to work. Leaving work. In their homes. At their children's schools. Hundreds of photos. Chen hired my firm to conduct surveillance on anyone who complained. Anyone who filed reports. Anyone who seemed like they might cause trouble. We documented their lives. Found their vulnerabilities. Used that information to intimidate them into silence. That's stalking. That's illegal. It's also very profitable. Chen paid us $60,000 last year alone. And that's just for his buildings. His uncle's company has contracts with 3 different pie firms doing the same thing in different cities. Esther felt sick. You have proof of all this contracts. Invoices. Reports. Everything. Maria pulled up a spreadsheet. 47 women total across 4 cities. All immigrant workers. All targeted for surveillance after they complained about working conditions. Why are you showing me this? Because I'm done being part of the problem. And because you're different from the others. How you're not backing down. Most people quit after the first threat. You filed a complaint anyway. You talked to reporters. You're fighting back even though it's costing you everything. That kind of courage is rare. Maria copied files onto a USB drive. This is everything. Take it to the FBI. To the media. To whoever will listen. Just don't tell them where you got it. You could testify. Be a witness. I could also end up dead. Chen's uncle has resources I can't fight. But this, she handed over the USB drive. This can fight for me. Esther took it. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just make sure it counts. At 6 p.m. Esther met with FBI agent Marcus Webb at a coffee shop in Manhattan. He looked like he was in his early 40s suit that had seen better days. Wedding ring he kept twisting nervously. Detective Morrison said you have evidence of a systematic operation. Esther handed him the USB drive. Everything's on here. 3 years of surveillance. 47 victims. 4 cities. Contracts. Invoices. Proof. Webb plugged the drive into his laptop. Started clicking through files. His face got harder with each click. Where did you get this? I can't tell you that. If I'm going to use this as evidence, the person who gave it to me risked everything. If I give you their name, they'll be destroyed. Or worse. Webb was quiet for a long moment. I can work with anonymous sources. But at some point we'll need testimony. Then get Chen and his uncle first. Get them arrested. Get them off the street. Then people will feel safe enough to testify. It doesn't work like that. I need witnesses to build a case before I can make arrests. Then I'll be your witness. Use me. You're already a complainant with pending criminal charges against you. Defense lawyers will tear you apart on the stand. So what do I do? Keep fighting. Keep documenting. Keep surviving. I'll start building a federal case. But I need you to understand something. Webb closed his laptop. These investigations take time. We're talking a year minimum before anything goes to trial. Can you hold on that long? Before Esther could answer, her phone exploded with notifications. Dozens of texts. Missed calls. Emails. She opened the first text. From Kioma. Mama, turn on the news now. She pulled up a news app. The headline was Huge Immigrant Workers Allege Systematic Abuse at Manhattan Building Management Company. The article was live. Lisa Chen's story. Front page of the Metro section. Photos of the Mendelssohn Building. Quotes from Esther. From Angela. From 3 other women who'd agreed to be interviewed. Her phone rang. Lisa Chen. It's published. Every major news outlet in the city is picking it up. We're already getting calls from women who say they've experienced the same thing. This is huge. Chen is going to come after me. Probably. But now he's doing it in public. That changes everything. Esther hung up. Looked at Agent Webb. Still think this will take a year? His phone was ringing too. He answered. Listened. His face changed. I understand. Yes, sir. I'll head to the office now. He hung up. Looked at Esther. That was my supervisor. Apparently the story mentions possible federal crimes. We're opening an investigation immediately. How fast is immediately? We'll have agents at the Mendelssohn Building tomorrow morning. Document seizure. Witness interviews. The whole thing. He stood. Go home. Stay with your family. Don't answer calls from unknown numbers. Don't open your door for anyone except police. This is going to get intense very quickly. Esther drove home. The sun was setting. Her phone kept buzzing with messages. Supporters. Reporters. Threats. She stopped reading them. Michael was waiting at the door. Have you seen? I've seen. You're on the news. Your name. Your face. Everything. I know. Chen's going to destroy us. Maybe. Or maybe we just destroyed him first. At 8 p.m. someone knocked on the door. Esther looked through the peephole. 2 men in suits. FBI badges visible. She opened the door. Agent Webb sent you. We're here to provide protection. There have been threats made against you and your family. We're going to have an agent outside your building tonight. For how long? Until we determine the threat level has decreased. At 9 p.m. her phone rang. Unknown number. Against Webb's advice she answered. Chen's voice. You made a big mistake going to the media. Did I? You have no idea what you've started. What this is going to cost you. I know exactly what I've started. The end of you. The FBI has nothing. That story is just accusations. You have no proof. Actually, I have 3 years of documentation proving you've been running a criminal enterprise. Surveillance reports. Contracts. Everything. Silence on the line. Then you're bluffing. Am I? Asked Maria Santos. The silence got heavier. I don't know anyone by that name. Yes, you do. She worked for the pie firm you hired. The one that followed me. And Angela. And 47 other women. She kept copies of everything. And now the FBI has it all. You stupid woman. Do you understand what you've done? Not just to me. To yourself. To your family. I understand perfectly. I've stopped being invisible. And that's the one thing you couldn't control. She hung up. Her hands were shaking, but it felt different this time. Not fear. Power. At 10 p.m. Michael's phone rang. His brother in New Jersey. Michael answered on speaker. Turn on News 12. Right now. They found the channel. A reporter was standing outside the Mendelsohn building. Breaking news tonight as federal agents arrived this evening to execute search warrants at several properties owned by Mendelsohn Management Group. This follows a bombshell report alleging systematic abuse and exploitation of immigrant workers. Sources tell us this investigation may expand to include multiple cities and potentially dozens of victims. The screen showed FBI agents carrying boxes out of the building. Chen was visible in the background being questioned. Kioma grabbed Esther's hand. You did this. You made this happen. We did this. All of us. At 11 p.m. Jennifer Reyes called. The criminal charges against you are being dropped. The DA's office reviewed the evidence and determined it's clearly retaliatory. They're declining to prosecute. The FBI investigation helped. Once federal agents got involved, the local DA didn't want to look like he was protecting a criminal enterprise. He's actually opening his own investigation into who authorized the false report. For the first time in days, Esther felt like she could breathe. So it's over. The criminal charges are over. But the labor case is just beginning. And now you have leverage. The company is going to want to settle. Keep you quiet. We should talk about what that might look like. I'm not interested in keeping quiet. I understand. But settlement money could change your family's life. Put your daughters through college. Give you financial security. How much are we talking based on the evidence and the media attention? Easily 6 figures. Maybe 7. Esther's head was spinning. I need to think about it. Take your time. We have the upper hand now. At midnight, Esther was lying in bed unable to sleep. Michael was next to her, also awake. What happens now? He asked. I don't know. This could go on for months. The investigation. The lawsuit. Everything. Can we survive that long? We survived this long. We'll survive longer. You're different than you were a week ago. How you stopped disappearing. She turned to look at him. I'm tired of being invisible. Tired of accepting that my life matters less than someone else's convenience. If fighting back destroys me, fine. At least I'll be destroyed while being seen. Her phone buzzed. Text from Rosa. I'm sorry I stopped helping. I was scared. But I saw the news and I want back in. I'll testify. I'll do whatever you need. Chen doesn't scare me anymore. Another text. From Fatima. Count me in too. I'm done being silent. Another. From a number she didn't recognize. This is Lynn. I'll testify. Chen called immigration on me, but I talked to a lawyer. I have rights. And I'm going to use them. One by one the women were coming back. The witnesses Chen thought he'd intimidated into silence were finding their voices. At 1 a.m. Victor Mendelssohn's lawyer called. Ms. Okonkwo, my name is Richard Bennett. I represent Victor Mendelssohn and his companies. My client would like to extend an offer to resolve this matter. I'm listening. $250,000. Full confidentiality agreement. You sign a statement that David Chen acted without the company's knowledge or approval. All civil claims are dropped. You agree not to cooperate further with any investigations. So you pay me to lie and disappear. We pay you to move on with your life. What about the other 47 women? What about everyone else Chen victimized? They'll need to file their own complaints. So you want to separate us. Pick us off one by one. The ones who take the money stay quiet. The ones who don't get dragged through years of litigation. I'm not interested. Tell your client I'll see him in court. She hung up. Michael was staring at her. You just turned down $250,000. Blood money. That's rent for 10 years. College for both girls. A new car. Financial security. It's also silence. And I'm done being silent. At 2 a.m. someone threw a brick through their living room window. Glass exploded everywhere. Ada screamed. The FBI agent outside came running. Inside the brick was a note: last warning. Drop the case or your family pays. The agent called for backup. Within minutes 3 more agents arrived. 1 stayed with the family. 2 searched the building and surrounding area. We're moving you, the lead agent said. Safe house. Just for a few days until we can make arrests. We can't leave. We have school, work, lives. Ms. Okonkwo, someone just threatened your children with a brick through your window. This isn't a request. At 3 a.m. they were packing assorted belongings. The girls were crying. Michael was silent, moving like a man in shock. Esther's phone rang. Agent Webb. We just arrested David Chen. Multiple charges including wire fraud, extortion, witness intimidation and conspiracy. His uncle is being picked up as we speak. I wanted you to know. Something broke in Esther's chest. Not the bad breaking. The good kind. The kind that lets light through cracks. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is just the beginning. But they're off the street. They can't hurt you anymore. What about bail? We're arguing for no bail based on flight risk and witness intimidation. The judge will decide tomorrow. And if they get out, then we keep you and your family protected until trial. The FBI drove them to a hotel in New Jersey. 2 rooms. Guards outside. By 4 a.m. everyone was trying to sleep. Esther couldn't. She kept thinking about Angela. About Maria. About the 47 women whose photos were in those files. About how many times each of them had been told to stay quiet. Stay invisible. Accept it. She got up, opened her laptop, started writing. Not a complaint this time. Not a legal document. A letter. To every woman who'd ever been made to feel like her voice didn't matter. She wrote until the sun came up. Then she posted it on every social media platform she had. My name is Esther Okonkwo. For 12 years I cleaned offices in Manhattan. For 12 years I was invisible. For 12 years I accepted that my humanity mattered less than other people's comfort. Last week I stopped accepting it. I stood up. I spoke out. And they tried to destroy me for it. But here's what they didn't understand: you can't destroy someone who's already been erased. Because once you decide to be visible, once you decide your voice matters, once you decide you're done disappearing, you become unbreakable. To every woman reading this who's been told to be quiet, to accept less, to disappear, don't. Stand up. Speak out. Your voice matters. You matter. And together we're going to change everything. She hit post. Within an hour it had been shared 10,000 times. By noon 50,000. By evening it was viral. The revolution had begun. By morning Esther's post had been shared 200,000 times. Her phone was dead from constant notifications. When she finally charged it, there were voicemails from 3 different news networks requesting interviews. Michael was sitting on the hotel bed watching the news. You're everywhere. CNN, MSNBC, Fox. Everyone's covering this. Is that good or bad? I don't know anymore. Agent Webb called at 8 a.m. The judge denied bail for both Chen and Victor Mendelssohn. Too much evidence of witness intimidation. They're staying locked up until trial. Esther exhaled. How long until trial? Federal prosecutor is pushing for a fast track. 3 months maybe. 3 months in a safe house number. We arrested the main threats. You can go home today. But we'll have regular patrols on your street. And I need you to be smart. No walking alone at night. Keep your doors locked. Vary your routine. At 10 a.m. they checked out of the hotel. Drove back to the Bronx. Their apartment window was still broken, covered with plywood. Someone had cleaned up the glass. A note on the door from Mr. Pacheco. I saw the news. You're a hero. Take your time with the rest of the rent. Inside, Kioma went straight to her room. Ada to hers. Michael stood in the living room looking at the plywood. We need to fix that. We will. I still can't believe you turned down $250,000. Would you have taken it? He was quiet for a long moment. A week ago, yes. Today, I don't know. You changed something in me. In all of us. That's because we stopped accepting that surviving meant disappearing. Her phone rang. Jennifer Reyes. The company's lawyer called again. New offer. $500,000. Same terms. Still no. Esther, I have to advise you as your lawyer, $500,000 is life-changing money. So is testimony that puts them in prison. They might not go to prison. They might get a plea deal. White-collar criminals rarely serve serious time. Then I'll make sure everyone knows what they did. That's worth more than money. Is it worth more than your daughter's college tuition, than financial security for the next decade? Esther looked at Kioma's closed door. At Ada's. At the plywood covering their broken window. Ask me that question after the trial. At noon, Rosa called. There are reporters outside the building. They want to talk to other workers. Some women are scared to speak. Others want to. What should we tell them? Tell them the truth. Whatever they're comfortable sharing. But tell them they don't owe anyone their story. They only share if they want to. What if the company retaliates? They can't. Not anymore. The FBI is watching. The media is watching. Everyone's watching now. By afternoon, 6 more women had come forward publicly. By evening, 12. Each with stories identical to Esther's. Each with documentation. Each ready to testify. The company's lawyer called again. $750,000. Final offer. Take it or we go to war. Then we go to war. You're making a mistake. We have resources you can't imagine. Lawyers who specialize in destroying people like you. Go ahead. Destroy me. But do it in public. Where everyone can see. Because that's where I live now. In the light. Not in the shadows anymore. At 6 p.m. Lisa Chen called. I have someone who wants to meet you. A documentary filmmaker. She's done work on labor exploitation before. Won an Emmy. She wants to tell your story. How long would filming take? 6 months. Maybe a year. She'd follow you through the trial. Through everything. Let me think about it. Don't think too long. She has other projects. This opportunity won't last. That night, the family ate dinner together for the first time in a week. Pizza because no one had energy to cook. They sat around the kitchen table, the plywood-covered window behind them. Mama, what happens if you lose the trial? Ada asked. Then we keep fighting. File appeals. Keep telling the story. What if they sue you for defamation or something? They might. But truth is a defense against defamation. And everything I've said is true. Kioma was quiet, picking at her pizza. Finally she spoke. I'm proud of you. But I'm also mad at you. Why? Because you put us all at risk. Because someone threw a brick through our window. Because we had to leave our home and hide in a hotel. Because everything's different now and scary, and I don't know if it'll ever be normal again. You're right. I did put you at risk. And I'm sorry. I don't want you to be sorry. I want you to tell me it was worth it. Esther reached across the table. Took her daughter's hand. Ask me that after the trial. Why does everyone keep saying that? Because right now I don't know if it was worth it. I only know I couldn't live with myself if I didn't try. At 8 p.m. Agent Webb called. We got something from Chen's phone. Text messages to his uncle. Discussing paying off officials to delay investigations. Discussing bribing witnesses to change their testimony. This moves beyond labor violations into corruption. What does that mean? Longer sentences if they're convicted. Federal corruption charges carry heavy penalties. We're talking 10 to 20 years potentially. Good. There's something else. Chen had communications with someone in immigration enforcement. ICE. Discussing how to target specific workers who complained. That's abuse of power. That's using federal resources for personal retaliation. Esther's blood went cold. He was going to have people deported. He already did. We found evidence of at least 3 cases where women who filed complaints against him suddenly found themselves in detention. All 3 eventually got released, but the process took months. Cost them their jobs, their homes, everything. Can you prosecute him for that? We're building the case. But it's complicated. The ICE agent involved claims he was just doing his job. That he had legitimate reasons to question their status. Of course he does. We'll keep digging. But I wanted you to know the scope of this. It's bigger than we thought. At 10 p.m. Michael's brother called. Mom wants to talk to you. Michael's mother. They'd been avoiding her calls because she disapproved of the whole situation. Thought Esther should have stayed quiet. Kept her head down. Not made trouble. Michael put the phone on speaker. You've made yourself famous, his mother said. Her voice was tight. Disapproving. Not famous. Visible. It's the same thing. Now everyone knows our business. Everyone's talking about our family. Let them talk. You're being selfish. You have children. You should think about how this affects them. I am thinking about them. I'm thinking about what kind of world they'll grow up in. What kind of example I'm setting. The example you're setting is that making noise and causing trouble is how you solve problems. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the only way to fix a broken system is to break it completely. You sound like a radical. I sound like someone who's tired of being treated like I don't matter. Michael's mother was quiet for a moment. Then your father worked 30 years in a factory. Never complained once. Took whatever they gave him. Retired with a pension and his dignity. And I'm happy for him. But I couldn't do that. I tried for 12 years and it almost destroyed me. So instead you're destroying us all. No, Mama. Michael's voice was firm. She's saving us. Even if you can't see it. His mother hung up. Michael looked at Esther. I'm sorry. Don't be. She's not wrong. This is destroying some things. But sometimes things need to be destroyed before they can be rebuilt. At midnight Esther couldn't sleep. She got up, opened her laptop, started reading comments on her viral post. Most were supportive. Some were vicious. She's lying for attention. Probably lazy and got fired for being bad at her job. Another immigrant complaining about America instead of being grateful. She's trying to get a big payday. Typical lawsuit culture. Kioma appeared beside her. Don't read those. I can't help it. Yes, you can. You can close the laptop and go to bed. How do you deal with people saying terrible things about you? I remember that people who say terrible things are usually miserable themselves. Happy people don't spend their time tearing others down. Esther closed the laptop. When did you get so wise? I've had a good teacher. 2 weeks later, the Department of Labor released their findings. Systematic wage theft. Unsafe working conditions. Sexual harassment. Witness intimidation. They issued the maximum fine $2 million. And they referred the case to the Attorney General for criminal prosecution. The company's lawyer called that afternoon. $1 million. You keep your testimony, but we settle the civil suit. No admission of wrongdoing. Just a settlement. Jennifer Reyes was on the line too. Esther, this is a good offer. Take it. What about the other women? They can file their own suits. This is about you. No. It's about all of us. I don't settle unless everyone gets compensated. That could take years. Multiple lawsuits. Complex negotiations. Then it takes years. The lawyer's voice got hard. You're being unreasonable. I'm being fair. You want me to go away? Fine. Pay everyone you hurt. All 47 women. Then I'll consider settling. That's not how this works. It is now. He hung up. Jennifer sighed. You're making this very difficult. Good. That's the point. That night Esther got an email. From one of the women whose photos had been in Maria's files. A woman named Priya who worked at a Mendelssohn building in Boston. I saw your story. I'm ready to file my own complaint. I thought I was alone, but I'm not. Thank you for being brave enough to go first. Then another email. From someone named Carolina in Philadelphia. I'm filing tomorrow. Because of you. Then another. And another. By midnight 17 women from 3 different cities had contacted her. All ready to file complaints. all ready to testify. The revolution was spreading. 3 weeks later was the first court appearance. Federal courthouse downtown. Esther wore her best dress, the one she saved for church. Michael wore a suit he'd borrowed from his brother. The girls stayed home with an FBI agent watching the apartment. Victor Mendelsohn looked smaller in an orange jumpsuit. Chen looked angry. Their lawyers looked expensive. The prosecutor stood. Your Honor, the government is prepared to present evidence of a systematic criminal enterprise spanning 4 states and victimizing at least 63 women over 5 years. We have documentation of wage theft totaling over $3 million. Evidence of witness intimidation, bribery of public officials, and abuse of federal immigration enforcement for personal retaliation. Victor's lawyer objected. These are allegations. The government has no. We have 3 years of surveillance records obtained from a private investigation firm. We have financial records showing payments for illegal surveillance. We have text messages between the defendants discussing how to intimidate witnesses. We have testimony from over 20 victims willing to testify. The judge looked at the defense. Response: Your Honor, our clients are being railroaded by the media and by overzealous prosecutors looking for headlines. David Chen made some management mistakes, but there's no criminal enterprise. Victor Mendelsohn had no knowledge of the prosecutor held up a document. This is an email from Victor Mendelsohn to David Chen dated 6 months ago. Quote, make sure the troublemakers understand what happens when they don't cooperate. Use whatever resources necessary. I don't want to know the details, but I want results. End quote. The courtroom went silent. The judge looked at the defendants. Bail remains denied. Trial date is set for 8 weeks from today. Both defendants will remain in federal custody. Victor's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client is 67 years old with no criminal record. Your client orchestrated a criminal conspiracy that victimized dozens of vulnerable women. He's staying exactly where he is. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Esther stood at a microphone someone had set up. Michael beside her. Jennifer Reyes beside him. Justice is slow, but it's coming, Esther said. For every woman who was told to be quiet. For every worker who was exploited. For everyone who was made to feel invisible. Your voices matter. You matter. And together we're going to change this system. A reporter shouted a question. If the company offered you $10 million to walk away right now, would you take it? Esther didn't hesitate. No. Because some things can't be bought. Dignity can't be bought. Justice can't be bought. The right to be treated like a human being can't be bought. That clip went viral. By evening it had been viewed 10 million times. The company's lawyer called one last time. We're prepared to offer a global settlement. $5 million divided among all complainants. No admission of wrongdoing. Everyone signs NDAs. This ends. Esther was in the kitchen with all 3 of her witnesses on speakerphone. Rosa, Fatima, Angela Martinez. What do you all think? Esther asked. Rosa spoke first. I have 3 kids. 5 million divided among 63 women is maybe 80,000 each. That's not enough. Not for what they did to us. Fatima agreed. And the NDA means we can't talk about it. They get away with it quietly. No. Angela's voice was firm. I already gave up once. I'm not giving up again. Esther looked at Jennifer. Tell them no. We're going to trial. You're insane. You're turning down millions of dollars. We're turning down silence. There's a difference. 8 weeks later was the trial. Federal courthouse packed with media. Protesters outside supporting both sides. Security was intense. The prosecutor spent 2 days laying out the evidence. Financial records. Surveillance files. Text messages. Emails. Witnesses. Rosa testified about being threatened. About being followed. About working 60-hour weeks and being paid for 40. Fatima testified about Chen's harassment. About the supply closet. About being too afraid to report it. Lynn testified about being targeted by ICE after filing a complaint. About spending 2 weeks in detention while her visa was reviewed even though it was valid. Angela Martinez testified about being arrested on fabricated charges. About losing custody of her children. About being homeless. Then it was Esther's turn. She walked to the witness stand. Raised her right hand. Swore to tell the truth. The prosecutor asked her to tell her story. She did. Every detail. 12 years compressed into 90 minutes of testimony. When she finished, the defense lawyer stood up for cross-examination. He was young, aggressive, confident. Ms. Okonkwo, you've accused my clients of terrible things. But isn't it true you were suspended for poor performance? I was suspended for refusing sexual advances. Do you have proof of these alleged advances? I have 17 documented incidents. Dates, times, witnesses. Witnesses who also have complaints against my client. Hardly impartial. We're not impartial. We're victims. There's a difference. The lawyer smiled. You're also someone who stands to gain millions of dollars if you win this case. I've already turned down millions to settle. I'm here for justice, not money. Yet you're suing for financial damages. Because they stole years of my life. Years of wages. Years of dignity. That has monetary value. Or you're just a disgruntled employee who got fired and decided to get revenge. Esther leaned forward. I'm a woman who got tired of being invisible. Who got tired of powerful men treating vulnerable women like we don't matter. Who got tired of a system that protects predators and punishes victims. I'm not disgruntled. I'm done being silent. The courtroom erupted in applause. The judge banged his gavel. Order, but the moment had shifted. The jury's faces had changed. They believed her. The trial lasted 3 weeks. 63 witnesses. Hundreds of pieces of evidence. When both sides rested, the jury deliberated for 2 days. When they came back, their faces were unreadable. The judge asked, have you reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. What say you on the count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud? We find the defendants guilty. On the count of witness tampering, guilty. On the count of obstruction of justice, guilty. On all counts, guilty. The courtroom exploded. Esther grabbed Michael's hand. Rosa was crying. Fatima was praying. Angela was smiling for the first time in 3 years. Chen's face was white. Victor looked like he'd aged 10 years in 10 seconds. The judge spoke over the noise. Sentencing will be in 30 days. Defendants remain in custody. Outside reporters were everywhere. Esther stood at the microphone again. Today 63 women got justice. But this isn't just about us. This is about every worker who's been exploited. Every immigrant who's been targeted. Every person who's been made to feel like they don't matter. You do matter. Your voice matters. Your humanity matters. And when we stand together, when we refuse to be invisible, we can change the world. At sentencing, Chen got 15 years. Victor got 12. Both ordered to pay full restitution, $4.3 million divided among all victims. Esther's share was $68,000. After lawyer fees and taxes, she walked away with $42,000. Not life-changing money, but enough. Enough to fix the window. To catch up on bills. To put some away for the girls' college. To breathe. 6 months later, Esther was standing in front of a college auditorium. 200 students staring at her. She'd been invited to speak about labor rights. About standing up. About refusing to disappear. I'm not a hero, she told them. I'm just someone who got tired of being erased. Who decided that survival wasn't enough anymore. Who chose visibility over safety. And it cost me everything. My job. My peace. My sense of security. But it also gave me something I'd lost 12 years ago, my voice. A student raised her hand. Was it worth it? Esther thought about the broken window. The threats. The fear. The sleepless nights. The stress that still made her hands shake sometimes. Then she thought about Rosa, who'd gotten a better job with a union. About Fatima, who was taking night classes to become a nurse. About Lynn, who'd gotten her green card approved. About Angela, who'd gotten custody of her kids back. About Kioma, who'd just been accepted to 3 universities. About Ada, who'd written a school paper about her mother's courage. About the 78 women who'd filed complaints in other cities after hearing her story. About the 3 companies that had changed their policies. About the legislation pending in Congress to strengthen protections for immigrant workers. About the fact that when she walked down the street now people recognized her. Not because she was famous. Because she existed. Because she mattered. Because she'd refused to disappear. Yes, she said. It was worth it. That night she drove home to the Bronx. To the apartment with the new window. To Michael, who'd gotten promoted to supervisor at his security job. To her daughters who hugged her at the door. They ate dinner together. Nothing special. Rice and beans and chicken. But they ate it as a family. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. My name is Marie. I clean offices in Chicago. I just filed a complaint against my employer. Because of you. Thank you for showing me I don't have to disappear. Esther smiled. Showed the message to her family. You started something, Michael said. We started something. All of us. Kioma looked at her mother. What happens now? Now we keep going. Keep fighting. Keep refusing to be invisible. Until when? Until every person in every building in every city knows that their labor has value. That their humanity has value. That they have value. Until no one has to choose between dignity and survival. Until the system changes. That could take forever. Then we'll fight forever. Outside the city hummed with the sound of a million invisible people going about their lives. Cleaners and cooks and drivers and caregivers. The engine that kept everything running. But they weren't invisible anymore. Not really. Because Esther had shown them something. That visibility was a choice. That voice was power. That refusing to disappear was its own kind of revolution. And revolutions once started don't stop until the world changes. They wanted her to disappear. To be silent. To accept that her life mattered less. But she refused. And in refusing she became unbreakable. Unforgettable. Unmistakable. She became visible. And visibility, it turned out, was the most powerful weapon of all.